Go live. All
All right.
right. So, welcome, everybody. We are live today, right now, for the past 5 seconds, Mario. Uh, this is Breakfast with Disaster. My name is Dan Bauer with ServPro, the Southtown ServPro of West Seneca, Lancaster. We come to you live every Tuesday at 10 a.m. to talk about basically what could go wrong and how to prevent it and protect yourself. And we give away some pretty cool prizes along the way. I think first thing you will notice is I am not alone today. It feels good. I've got a very special guest. As the president of the Forseti Protection Group, he is on the cutting edge of security. I know this because I've spoken to him about this, and I was floored by how much knowledge he had and how much he did to keep up with it. Good morning, everybody. We got some people joining. We got Lisa. We got Brianna. Hi, guys. He's on the cutting edge of security, violence prevention, risk management. He's got a team made up of really, really knowledgeable people, former law enforcement officers, former military veterans, people who know their stuff. And he provides everything from active shooter training to drone-based security to risk management consulting. Basically anything in the realm of security, protection, risk. He's your guy. He's very knowledgeable. He's also a heck of an entrepreneur. Everybody say hi to Mario Rodriguez of Forseti Protection Group. How you doing, Mario?
Good, Dan. How are you? Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
We've got some people joining, hopping on now. Lisa, Brianna, Nancy, Andrea, Kathy. Good to see you guys, as always. I'm going to like some of those comments. If you missed our intro here, I'm here with Mario Rodriguez of Forseti Protection Group. Mario, I wanted to talk to you about kind of what you do. And
Sure.
I hope that this is a good way to lead into it. The first time we had met, I was very interested, but when you say you do risk management, you do workplace violence, you do active shooter training, I came in with a lot of preconceived notions about what that was.
Sure.
What are some of the biggest, when you explain what you do, what are some of the biggest myths people walk into that conversation with?
Well, first, let me apologize for the background here. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but of course, as soon as we start recording, it starts beeping behind me.
No, I think
Construction.
we're
So,
good. I think we're okay.
but yeah. So, biggest myth I would say is that two things. One, that my last name is Forseti, and it's not. And two is that we're bodyguards of some sort, and we're not as well. So that's probably the biggest aspect. So I will preface with the other aspect of Forseti is everyone always asks, is that your last name? Is it someone in the company's name? It's not. It actually means Norse God of Justice. And to your point, as you mentioned, most of the team is either former military, former law enforcement. So we wanted to bring a piece of our backgrounds to the forefront of the organization. And that's how the name came about. So
Awesome. So if you're just joining us, this is Mario Rodriguez. He's the president of Forseti Protection Group. We did have a couple people just hop on. Um, let's talk a little bit about, if it's okay to highlight a specific area of your business,
sure.
workplace violence prevention. Now, I had sort of assumed that this would be on the downtick because fewer people are going into offices. I understand that might not be the case.
Yeah, that's correct. So the biggest misconception that we have right now is that because we're in a hybrid model, everyone's still kind of remote, or you're doing the half and half or one day a week, that workplace violence is actually down. There's a misconception that workplace violence only occurs when you're actually in an office space. It's not the case. In fact, workplace violence has skyrocketed since the beginning of the pandemic. Um,
Oh, got some buffering issues here, Mario. Are you there still?
all right, I'm here. Yeah,
I
can
lost
you
you
hear
for a
me?
second. You had just said
Sorry
that
about
workplace
that.
violence had sort of skyrocketed since the pandemic, which is surprising to me.
Yeah, yeah. So the misconception is that during this time, the fact that people are hybrid, where they're not in the office every day or they're mostly remote, that workplace violence isn't occurring during this time, and it's in fact it's skyrocketed during this time frame. Um, People have a tendency that once they're a little bit more comfortable, they're behind the keyboard, they're at home. Some of these things kind of skyrocketed where you have some threats that are being made through the keyboard, and certain aspects of the business start taking on Zoom calls, and those chats continue, and they become a little bit more aggressive over time, and then they start changing, and so that actually has occurred quite often since the beginning of the pandemic. And as folks are starting to come back into the office, there's the risk mitigation component that goes with that, not only for the COVID aspect. That's just one component now of the overall safety security policies and procedures that people are putting in place. But if you're looking at the overall recognition of risk, you're looking at what you're doing for the hybrid model. You don't want someone who's typically on the workforce that's hybrid, only coming in 1 day a week, and all of a sudden you have something going on in the office and they come stumbling into that kind of incident. That's where notification systems come into play. That's where your policy procedures come into play. It's kind of often forgot about during this time. So
let me ask then, as like a gut check here to make sure I'm not totally off base. I
Sure.
learned most of what I think everybody probably does this. I learned most of what I know about this stuff from the news. And when you see a news report, there's this narrative of, I think the stereotype is, oh, he was so quiet, or nobody really knew him, or maybe there's even further removed, there's that lone wolf sort of aspect where people didn't see something violent coming. Is that narrative not the case most of the time, or how do you prevent something like that?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different aspects that to uncover in your little statement there, but the biggest thing that we can kind of talk about and break down is that oftentimes there are some red flags and some things that we can kind of point out and point to ahead of time. One of the incidents that we kind of used as a case study is the Miller Coors shooting that occurred a couple of years ago. I think it's almost 3 years ago now, if I remember right. It's in January of 2019, or no, it's January 2020, I believe. But during that time, that individual had a lot of red flags that were occurring ahead of time. And rather than addressing them in real time, or at least looking into them, and again, we're playing Monday morning quarterback here, where we kind of get to break it down. And this is not a knock on anyone in that organization. It's just an opportunity for us to learn and get better and prevent it from happening again. But there was a lot of instances of mental health issues, along with statements that were made that were threats and aggressive. And rather than addressing them, some of the coworkers never brought them to the forefront, and instead, kind of used them as an opportunity to pick on the individual, which continued to rise the frustration, and then it led to them acting out in violence. It's never a good aspect, but those red flags are there. And really what we talk about when we talk with these organizations, whether they're small corporations, they could be small businesses, they could be large entities, you have to have a threat assessment team internally. It should be comprised of multiple organizations. Schools are doing this. This is part of their program now. Higher education, even charter schools, elementary schools. But you're putting that threat assessment team together, and it's comprised of HR, legal, mental health, some of the community folks, your liaisons between law enforcement and the organizations. And so you're putting all these little pieces together, and it allows you to put a prevention plan in place. You're looking at the prevent, should the incident occur, what to do during that time frame, and then the recovery. So you're looking at everything kind of in a holistic approach there.
Can I ask you, because I know a lot of the folks watching, they work in offices that are maybe smaller than, say, a school. You got maybe 5 to 15 people in there. How do you adapt that approach to prevent, to find those red flags, to an organization of that size where they might not have somebody who can be so focused on threat assessment? And what sort of red flags should they be looking for?
Well, two things there. One, there's a misconception with those small organizations that A, it can't happen, and B, that they believe it can, and they want to put something together, but they don't have the budget to do it. There's so many cost-effective ways that you can work into an organization now, that you can have anything from just a small, simple training that might be an hour, 2 or 3 hours, but it's custom to your organization, to just identified material that's specific to help certain things and read certain aspects. To your point, though, what you're looking for in that time frame is you're looking for anything from mood changes and behaviors, some stress factors that may be implemented. If you have someone, like, again, going back to the Miller Coors aspect, the individual was accusing other coworkers of coming to his house and recording him. Those kinds of statements should be red flags, kind of those kinds of things that you're looking for. The behavioral aspect is, again, what changed. If, Dan, you're super outgoing and you're very personable, and then all of a sudden you start shutting down, going into your shell, maybe giving some of your things away, maybe you're going through a divorce at home, those kinds of things all factor into, the behavioral aspect, that you can see some changes. And it can start with just stepping in with HR, and then it could, again, keep the red flag aspect of what else could be going on that we can prevent it from escalating to a higher point.
Sure. Morning, Christy. If you guys are just joining us, I'm here with Mario. I can't talk today. Mario Rodriguez of the Forseti Protection Group. He is the president. He's a very knowledgeable guy about all things security, risk assessment, violence prevention. We're talking a little bit about workplace violence now and kind of how to adapt that to, say, smaller organizations as well as larger ones. I'm curious because I know you keep really on top of new developments in this field. Mm-hmm. How have things evolved? I mean, a lot of what we've talked about is interpersonal, but technologically, I understand there's a lot going on.
Yeah, so the advancements in the security industry have just come about in the last probably 2 or 3 years. Really, it's been unbelievable. And even if you look at the beginning of this year, the January 6th incident in Washington, we were able to use that as a case study as well, where we're looking at, the building windows and security. So that's one aspect that we talked about. The innovation now that there's a new product out that's polycarbonate panels. So you have window film is one piece, and everyone's familiar with that. I'm sure most of your clients and folks that are on this call now are familiar with that window film. Well, there's now a new level of that. It's polycarbonate panels that retrofit the storefronts and retrofit these buildings, and it prevents completely. Retail security and retail theft has just gone through the roof during the last couple of years here. And so you have some of those kind of risk mitigation factors that you can use. From there, if you're looking at something like a school or even a lobby of a corporation, you have the technology with AI components involved now. So you have everything with AI that can actually read for the temperature checks ahead of time. So on a security camera, you can know whether or not someone's coming in and they don't have to stop walking. And you can figure out if they have a high temperature. You also have the capability now to be able to put up the kind of hidden scanners, if you will. The old magnetometers and all these other things that we've seen, those are kind of obsolete. And you can actually put those kinds of new technology in place where you have AI cameras that are scanning bags, scanning persons to make sure, not facial recognition, but scanning for weapons. So, for example, school. If we can tell you that from 100 yards out, we can scan a person's body and bag, and you're looking at that from that standpoint, and we can give you a notification within an instant where that person does have a weapon, they're walking up to the school, we can lock the doors down in 10 seconds. They're never even to the doorway yet, and we completely are on a lockdown. Changes the game completely. Now we look at that from an event security standpoint. These kinds of things were implemented at the Super Bowl. So you have all these folks that are in the walkway, and if they're partying outside and they're coming in, these are the kind of technology components that are kind of being implemented. And again, they're cost effective. So let's take the Sabres. You have the party in the plaza, right? You can implement that technology on the outside of the building, AI cameras. You're not getting facial recognition, but just the actual.
We lost you for a second again, Mario. Are you there still?
Ready to go. Sure. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
All right, just lost you just for a second, the last 5 seconds or so.
Sorry. Yeah, we're having some technical issues today for sure. But yeah, so that's really all of it in a nutshell. It's really, the game has changed drastically, and folks just that's why we do what we do. We want to stay on top of it and provide you the best solutions to make sure that you're actually truly safe. So
awesome. Well, if you didn't see our ID, and good morning, I know a couple folks joined: Christy, Kathy, Jennifer. Oh, I've actually had a question for you, Mario, from the audience here.
Sure.
Kathy wants to know if there's any type of preparedness done for the anniversary of 9/11. And I don't know if you've looked into that at all. If you can speak to that.
Yeah. So we've started talking with some of our contacts. There's a joint tourism task force that's throughout the country. Our clients have been approached by some of them just to make sure that having too much into their security plans. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I just lost you for a second. You were just talking about you had spoken to your contacts.
Yeah, so they are planning ahead and making sure. So we're using everything from Onset, which is open source intelligence and that technology, looking for threat mitigation through the online and open sources, to the black web kind of aspects, and then going into making sure that everyone's followed up on their procedures, knowing what plans they have in place, along with making sure that, again, the dialogue that we have with the local law enforcement and first responders is up to date and consistent all the way through now until probably the end of September, early October. So
Sure. Well, if anybody else has any other questions in the realm of security, risk management, violence prevention, that sort of thing, definitely throw them into the chat. Mario, anything you want to leave the group with?
No, I think we covered a ton, man. And in a short period of time, we really kind of talked about a lot of things. I can't thank you enough for the opportunity. I know we spoke last week about it, and it's really exciting to be on here with you, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Well, we're about to get to the fun part. I'm very glad that we had you here. You are very knowledgeable. You know your stuff, and this is stuff that I think I made very clear. I'm relatively ignorant about. I think a lot of people are, because they get
Sure.
their news from the news, and that's not always the full story. So
Sure.
thank you for being here. Hang out
course.
for a sec.
Sure.
You won't see this because you're on Zoom, but I'm covering your face with a prize wheel, and let me just
Okay.
and that we can see. All right. Thank you, Christy. I also agree it was interesting. Now, I told folks that we're giving away our biggest prize yet today, and that is very true. If you guys have ever heard of Rock the Barn, and raise your hand. I won't be able to see you if you raise your hand, but raise your hand. It's a 2-day music festival. It is happening this weekend out in Clarence. Tickets are $25 a pop. I've got 5 of them today to give away. And we are very proud supporters here at ServPro of the Southtown, ServPro of West Seneca Lancaster of Rock the Barn. It's a huge event. It's a lot of fun, drinks, bands, food, everything, and everything goes to benefit Meals on Wheels. So we love it. And so if you're got nothing to do this weekend, now you do. I'm going to give these away just to spread the love around here. And you can see, got them here. Got 5 of them here. I'm going to give away 2 of them, and then I'm going to give away 3 of them. So there are going to be 2 drawings here. Everybody hold on to your hats. Drawing number 1 happening now. You can see we got a lot more people joining our little Mug Club tribe here. Who is going to be our first winner of 2 tickets? We have winner 122, Trisha Costantino from Power Play Partners. She's got 2 tickets. I will give you a call. Unless you are on the stream, then just say hi. I'll make sure that we get those to you. I'll probably stop out today. Yeah, congrats, Trisha. You know what? I lied. I've got 6 tickets. How about 3 drawings, guys? Drawing number 2. $237. Ooh, Diane from Oricchio Insurance. Diane, I got 2 tickets for you. Last drawing, and then if you didn't win, I'm so sorry. You should still go to Rock the Barn. It's an incredible event. It's a lot of fun. We unfortunately cannot go this year, so got these for you. Got 115. 115 is Marcia from Terra Nova. Marcia, if you're on, you got 2 tickets to Rock the Barn. So Trisha, Marcia, Diane, I will get in contact with you guys if you're not on the stream already, and I will get those tickets out to you. That's about it for me. Mario, how you feeling? How you doing?
Fantastic, man. That's awesome. Congrats to those winners, and that's going to be a great show.
It's going to be a good
actually
time.
know it, so yeah, really fun.
Cool. Well, congrats everybody. Mario, thanks for. Where can people find you if they need to find you?
You can go right to our website, Forseti Protection, FORSETI Protection.com. I'm on LinkedIn. It's just me. And I'm sure you probably will have the link on there too, right? I think, assuming. So,
yeah, I can put it right. I might actually link to the video of that. It was the polycarbonate that will not break under any circumstances. That's crazy stuff.
The mini Thor, yeah. So we just did a cannabis conference that we went, and we had another guy try to do the same. He was a former football player. And we're like, go ahead, give it a shot. And so it was really fun to do. But the game has changed, so we got to stay with it, and let's make sure that we do everything we can to protect our own backyard first. Our families are here, our kids are here. We want to make sure that we're possibly quite the safest community in the world. That's our goal every single day. So
love that. Well, thank you, Mario. I'll put a link so you guys can find him online in his company, Forseti Protection Group. Of course, I am Dan Bauer from ServPro of the Southtowns, ServPro of West Seneca Lancaster. water, fire, mold, whatever. Basically anything at the intersection of the gross and the catastrophic I can help you with. So give me a call. I will see you guys next Tuesday for my birthday show. So I'll see you then. Thanks everybody for joining.
Awesome. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.